Okay, so let's start by painting today the seeds in the bowl. I have here raw umber, alizarin crimson, cadmium red light, titanium buff, and white. So I'm using a small brush, round. I'm going to take raw umber, mix a bit of raw umber with alizarin crimson, and try to kind of give some of the seeds a darker color shade. And I'm trying to separate them by using some areas I will have kind of a line, and other areas it'll be darker. Some of the seeds will be more of that color, the dark, and some of them will be just separating them by using the alizarin crimson and raw umber. We will fix the values later on, but for now we'll just kind of place them. We will adjust them or adjust the value once we start highlighting. Okay. Okay. It's good that we're working on red base. All right, I'm going to take alizarin crimson now and mix my alizarin crimson. I don't have to do all of them. We don't have to paint the dark line on all of them. It's just like if you're sketching and you're just kind of, painting some of them, some of the lines, not all of them. All right, let's start by highlighting. And again, I will adjust my highlights and darks and lights and values.
What color do you have?
Sorry, this is alizarin crimson and cadmium red light.
Okay.
Yeah. So we'll use both colors at first, alizarin crimson, cadmium red light, and I'll show you with this one, and then I'll stop so you can catch up with this. So alizarin crimson, cadmium red light, and then I'm going to take now more of the cadmium red light, more. This is now darker here. I went back to the dark. So that's why I mentioned before that it'll be kind of a back and forth between highlighting and working on my values. So I'm darkening a little bit the top part right here. I'm going to take a little bit of white. Yeah, I'm going to stop for a minute. Okay, right. So we're going to use, instead of mixing cadmium red light and alizarin crimson, we're going to use cadmium red medium. And it's faster. So we'll just kind of put a cadmium red medium over the seed. And then we will adjust the values and put the details in there. So let's see, like this one here. And it's easier to do this when it's wet, because then you will have a really nice soft blending of the highlights and darks. Now I'm going to take a little bit of cadmium red light and just add it here where the strong highlight is. So cadmium red light goes where there's light. This is just raw umber right now. So in between, if I need a dark color, I'm just going to use raw umber. And I'm not following exactly the same shape I'm seeing in there. I'm just playing around with the shape. Now, by the time the paint is dry, if I find that the red is too strong, then I can tone it down with cadmium red light. Cadmium red medium. All right, now let's go to the one in the back. I'm going to take cadmium red medium. Where I see a light color, oh, this is turning too pink. Let's take this one here. Yeah, that's better. This is cadmium red light and titanium, unbleached titanium. Cadmium red medium. Oh. I'll take a little bit of white. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Again, I'm going to take, whenever I'm using unbleached titanium, I'm going to use cadmium red light. Now I'm adding white for the bright, the lighter, the really light part. Okay, next. We're going to move a bit faster now that we know kind of what we're looking for. We will pick a couple that we want to show, and the rest, yeah. All right. Interesting how, some of them are almost like all white, light color. Okay. I'll put the white on top later on. I'm just going to keep going now. I'm improvising a bit right now because I can't find it. I can't find the seed in there. So I'm going to improvise.
Just like Sandra. That's where she gets her.
Yeah, improvise. All right, I'm going to stop in a minute. Okay, let's put some dots. A little bit of white here and there. Okay. All right, I'm going to stop for a minute. All right, so now I'm going to start working on this one here. Cadmium red medium. I'm going to spread cadmium red medium all over. Right here. So what's the surface? I'm going to take a little bit of raw umber, darken this part, because my cadmium red medium is still wet, so I can do that. Now, clean my brush, take cadmium red light, give it a bit of lighter color here, kind of a lighter, right here. And then I'm going to take white. And just go like this. And I'm good. Again, let's do this one here. That one is a little bit lighter, so it's good. I'm going to take, whenever I'm going to mix, I want to mix unbleached titanium. Instead of using cadmium red medium, I'm using cadmium red light, because once I mix cadmium red medium with unbleached titanium or white, it's really pink. It's very pink. So I don't want it to look pink.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yes.
So I don't want it to look pink. If I don't want it to look, I don't want the color to look pink, then I'm using cadmium red light and mixing it with unbleached titanium. Now I'm going to add a little bit more white in here, a little bit of white in that mixture, and try to highlight this. Again, let's take another one. Let's take this one here. This is a good one. Cadmium red medium. I'm going to wet it. Oh, yeah. Okay, wet it with cadmium red medium. Okay. Now the bottom part, I want the bottom part to be dark. Raw umber. That's too much raw umber. Okay, let's bring cadmium red medium again. Push it down a bit more. There. Now, in this one, now I need to highlight this part. Instead of using cadmium red medium, I'm going to take cadmium red light, titanium buff, and put the color right there. Okay, a little bit of white. This one is highlighted. And we're good. Okay, next, cadmium red medium. This one is dark. It's going to stay dark down there. Let's put a bit of raw umber just to push it down. That's good. Raw umber, bottom part. Cadmium red light. And touch of white. Cadmium red light now with titanium buff. And more titanium buff and cadmium red light on the one next to it. You know, I spend more time on the big ones, obvious, like the one that you see, I see more in there, and then the rest are just a hint. Right, again, same. So it's the same technique. I just repeated all over. A little bit here, a couple that are down deep, so we don't see, there's no light on them. This one is big, so I'm going to put cadmium red light. I'm sorry, cadmium red medium, raw umber. Clean my brush, pick up some cadmium red light, titanium buff. And a touch of white. For the light reflection. Now, by the time I'm done, then I will go back and adjust some darks and some highlights if I need to.
So most of the color we see is cadmium red medium.
Medium. Cadmium red medium is the first color I spread on the, like this one here. Let's say I'm doing this one here.
And the alizarin crimson is
I'm not using alizarin because remember we said I was mixing alizarin crimson with cadmium red light, and then we said, you know, we don't need to do that if we use cadmium red medium. So I'm not doing that right now. Now alizarin crimson, we can use it for the darks as well, like the bottom part if I want, like now. See, I'm just showing you right now. So I can put alizarin crimson to make it darker instead of raw umber.
Yes.
Right? Okay, so now with this one here, I'm going to highlight this part at this point. I'm going to take cadmium red light. And if you want a bit of that darker color in here to separate them, if you find that the color you're using is not enough, the raw umber is not enough, add a bit of blue in your raw umber. That will make the raw umber really dark. Any blue. Actually, not any blue. I shouldn't say any blue. It's mostly, I would think, that ultramarine blue will work better. It's the same. If there's no strong highlight, it's the same thing. Dark. First, I put a layer of cadmium red medium. Then I darken with, if I want, I have two options. I can darken adding raw umber or alizarin crimson. Then for the highlight, I use cadmium red light. And if I want this highlight to be more on the whitish, light side, then I use cadmium red light with unbleached titanium. And for the strong light, a little bit of white. That's it. We're getting there. We need music. Are we getting any more snow?
They actually said that tonight there might be I mean, I don't know, tomorrow there might be, but I think it's scattered.
Next week is going to be better.
Oh, yeah? Good.
Yeah, enough's enough.
Hmm?
Enough.
Yeah.
When I came 36 years ago in Canada, the snow started in September.
September?
September.
Wow.
It finished April.
And you're coming from Greece.
Yes.
I remember the first time I saw the snow here, although we do have snow in Lebanon, but we ski as well. There's ski and everything. But when I saw the snow here, I'm like, oh, wow, I don't have to drive to see the snow. It's right there. So I was at work and I said, my boss was standing right next to me and it was like snowing outside. And I said, I looked at him and I said, I looked at the snow and I said, oh, I love the snow. He looked at me and he said, are you crazy?
Yeah.
Now I know what he meant.
Yeah.
I still like the snow though.
I like the rain.
Yeah, I like the rain too.
Yes.
I like rain, snow, any of that.
At least it's prettier than just gray skies and
True.
no snow.
True. True. Yes, it is prettier than gray skies.
And no snow, like it's just blah.
But this kind of snow.
This is different this year, but I mean it's a couple of days and then everything will go back to normal. It'll be fine.
Yeah. It was cold though this year.
Yeah. Hey, all of a sudden we have nice pomegranate.
Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah, we're getting there.
Yeah. And the light color is the light, right?
Cadmium red light with...
The red light, yes.
Yes. Now they do have in the reference, you see more of that kind of a light color, light highlight in there. So I'm gonna start adding a couple more of, now that the base color is done, I'm gonna go back and just add more of the lighter red in there. Some white dots, and then I'm going to stop. Okay. I'm going to stop for a minute. Okay, right. So we're done for tonight. We finished this part. And next week we'll work on the rest.